whatever. I don't know. An umpire and a vampire square off week after week, reviewing movies outside their own strike zone. This week's movies, the 1993 Jurassic Park and the 2015 Eddie the Eagle, starring Sam Neill, Hugh Jackman, Lauren Dern, Iris Berben, Jeff Goldblum, and a bunch of large reptiles. Now two guys who don't need to be paleontologists to know things in the mirror are closer than they appear. Tim Crutchman and Jeff Miller.
Woo! Bringing the heat today.
Bringing the heat.
Bringing the heat.
Well, we talked about this, so we'll talk about a couple things real quick.
Okay.
I left all my notes at home, right? I get here
yes,
and I'm like,
I noticed because you were in a panic.
Right, so I wrote this up, and I'm like, I couldn't think of Hugh Jackman's name, and I'm like, Jack Klugman. I couldn't think of it. So
Jack Klugman's well liked.
But Tim, so I'm reading off my own notes, and I wanted to say Jack Klugman so bad. And I'm like, that's not right, Jeff. It's Hugh Jackman.
Jackman.
But yes, we are here again for another Thursday. Tim, welcome.
Yes, and this is Dead on the Bases. I am the vamp, and he is the ump.
You're out.
Okay, and he makes sure we follow all the rules. Jeff is called the ump because he calls it straight down the middle. The middle of what? We don't know, and neither does he. But what we do is he's a sports fan. I enjoy horror films, so I assign a horror film to him, and then he retaliates by giving me a sports movie to watch.
See, the only thing about this is when Tim and I discussed this, when we first discussed this idea, I didn't listen. And he said horror, and I actually thought horror. And I'm like, ooh, these could be kind of fun. But you know what? Horror is not that bad. I'm beginning to get the hang of it. And honestly, I'll tell you, Tim, I'll be honest with you. When we were off during the summer,
you missed it.
I kind of did.
Yeah.
But I didn't miss enough to like say, hey, Debbie, let's watch a horror movie. So I didn't miss it that much, but I missed it a little bit. I can admit that.
I actually have a sports movie that I've been sitting on for so long. I'm like, I know Jeff will never assign this thing, but I don't want to watch it because he might.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Oh.
I'll assign it next season.
Mr. Go, you're gonna go. It's a Korean film about a gorilla that plays baseball.
You know what?
I honestly have this movie.
You know what? I will assign it just to assign it. We'll get it done in the week.
Yeah, you would enjoy it anyway.
But here's the cool thing, though. Maybe there's a movie that I haven't seen either.
Right.
Like, for example, the one this week, Eddie the Eagle. I never saw it. I always wanted to. So
nice segue, by the way.
So by assigning it to Tim, I got a chance to watch it, and I'm glad that I did. But go ahead, Tim. Tim had Eddie the
Eagle, and I assigned him a classic at this point, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, yeah, you bet. I saw this when it first came out. I'm sure you did too.
Yeah, the whole world did. It made like $1 billion.
But I have plenty to talk about when I talk about it. So don't think this is a home run.
I don't want him.
This might not be a home run.
I don't want. What's a home run? Is that like a touchdown?
Yes, it's the same equivalent.
As a goal?
It's the biggest. Yes, it's the biggest thing that can happen during the game.
All right, I thought a grand slam would be, but you're
still
the
a home
sports
run.
expert, so I'm not going to tell you about your sport any more than usual.
I can't give capitals here. Hold
hey, everybody! I had the fun of watching Eddie the Eagle.
Eddie the Eagle.
This is supposed to be doing stuff. There it goes.
Is that what he sounded like?
No, he did not. No. At no point did that occur during the film or erupt from my vantage point.
You know the cool thing about it, Eddie the Eagle. When I was working with Bob and Brian, I was the hawk. So
you were the hawk.
It's sort of the same thing, eagle, hawk.
Sort of the same thing, but completely different.
Birds of prey.
Yeah. All right, so.
Go ahead, Tim.
How did we get here?
I don't know.
How did we get here?
I don't
know. Eddie Eagle was made in 2015, a pretty recent film. It is a very well-paced film. He is in Germany training for the Olympics 15 minutes into the film. And they've set up, that since he was a little shaver, that he wanted to be in the Olympics.
It's cool. That's so cool.
You could say that's what the movie's about. You could also say this is a movie about a man who is terribly unsuccessful at committing suicide. Because
go that way.
he does do things that a sane man would not do, which I was thinking about you the whole time.
So it gets some horror cred, doesn't it?
No, I don't think it quite goes there because there just wasn't enough murder. But anyway, I had it ready this time.
I know you did. I know.
I was proud.
Good stuff.
Okay, so anyway, Eddie Edwards, which sounds like a fake name to me, but apparently that's what this guy was hung with. He wants to become... He wants to be in the Olympics. He doesn't care how he gets in there.
I mean, as a little kid, he holds his breath underwater and he's like, I'm going to the Olympics.
Olympic breath holding. The correct thing to say to that kid is don't hold your breath.
There you go.
But one thing leads to another, and he decides ski jumping is his way into the Olympics. The screenwriter really didn't have to come up with much for this movie because it's so impossible. It's just like, report what happened. It's crazy enough. Yeah. I did enjoy that part of practicing ski jumping is laying on top of a beach ball. So I went in the other room. I have one of those exercise beach balls.
Yeah, you do.
I'm pretty sure I could jump. I'm pretty sure I could be a ski jumper. I did think, how the hell do you practice for that? You just kind of have to do it and then not die.
And that's what he did. He just went off the 15-meter one and he's like, okay, I'll go to 40.
Yeah.
You gotta love that about him. I mean...
No, that's insane. I know, but... That's not wise.
But you know what, though?
Children watching... Because we have a lot of kids that watch this fucking show.
Oh! Why?
Kids, do not... do what this guy does. OSHA would just follow him around. This is true. You would walk through town and OSHA would just keep following him because they knew they could write up some violations.
Let me be honest with you, Tim.
Yeah.
If honestly, knowing myself, if I succeeded at the 15, like boom, I did it, I would go to the 40 right away. I would. I just know myself. I'd probably die on the 40, but I think I would just, if I did the one, I'd be like, it's a success. Let's go to the next one.
Okay. I
just know myself.
Ask you something.
Yeah.
So this guy, his whole life is predicated on him going to Olympics. Right?
Yeah.
How much did you hate that jerk that got him drunk so he misses the opening ceremony?
Okay, I'm going to ding the bell.
Yeah.
What an asshole. That pissed me off. And like I mentioned, this is the first time I saw it too.
Yeah.
And I was pissed.
Oh yeah.
I was
pissed
too. I was upset the way
it's one thing the officials kind of saying you really don't have a place here.
Right.
Because honestly,
he didn't.
I felt like they were saving his life.
They were.
Because he had no reason to be up there.
He didn't. But when he did do it, they were still jerks to him. The British Olympic Committee were jerks. And it really, I mean...
But you explained it in the first word. You said they were British.
But yes, the guys from the ski team that got them all drunk and had missed opening ceremonies, like, come on, man. That was just jag. They're a bunch of jags.
I have comments here.
Okay, go ahead. Go for it.
What ends up happening is, because he's such a hapless little guy, he became a curiosity, kind of a media darling. And Jackman even says, you're kind of a sideshow. Which is interesting to me because every Winter Olympics I've ever watched, there's been a story like this.
I love the Winter Olympics.
I like winter more than the summer.
So do I. Well,
but yeah, go ahead.
What else was during this Olympics? And they mentioned it in there.
Yeah, the Bohemian,
the Jamaican. You know what it is. You just want to be. It's a Jamaican pop stud team.
The Bohemians would go. Yeah, the Jamaican. So this was not an Olympics without side stories to begin with. And I mean, this guy was not. People weren't like He's a possible medal contender. No,
No.
he was a possible fatality is what he was.
And he knew it himself. He
Yeah.
just wanted to be there, I think. Right?
Now, what I liked is the way you can make this movie. You can make this movie a couple different ways. The movie makers made this correctly in my mind. They didn't try to give you that inkling of a belief that he's actually going to get some sort of medal.
Yes.
They didn't have him being vindictive and going after the people that told him no. Because, there's opportunity there where he could have said, "Hey, Olympic Committee really hates my ass."
No kidding.
And all that. Thank you.
What?
So I think the movie makers understood that the key to the story was how did he react to his instant fame?
Yeah.
And it's interesting. So in his time,
You can do what
Warriors,
you can do what you
he first does a jump on the 15 meter, then the 40 meter. That's what he practiced on.
Yep.
Then he goes up to the 70 meter, and eventually he goes up to the 90. I've never done more than a 70 meter.
The cool thing was
after
that
the beach ball, of course.
He never did 90 before. He did 90 in the Olympics, and that was it. A one-time shot.
But I believe that the reason he did was he just wanted to prove I'm not a sideshow. I'm at least trying.
But he stuck it, and that was so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I tried like the Dickens to find the actual
It's on there.
jump.
Yeah.
I couldn't really find where he was way
So
back.
he wasn't.
battles back. That
He
I
wasn't. In
didn't
the
see.
real jump in real life, he didn't do
He
all
just
that.
kind of landed.
He landed.
Yeah.
He did. He
Right.
landed. But it was, I'll be honest with you, Tim, in this movie, and I know you're not done,
Ripping on it.
no, you're not done grading it yet or to the
okay.
end. But honestly, I got emotional in a way. I actually
Yeah.
felt some real emotion for this movie. And I think it's really great how they put it together. Like you said, they did it the right way. And you really feel for Eddie when you're watching this. You're like,
Well,
he just wanted to be there. He just wanted to be something.
And I think they did a good job of getting you into what this is. There's a scene where he goes up this escalated train. Then he goes into an elevator as you're going up. And the tension is just building the whole time.
Yeah.
And he's going up the elevator with the Flying Finn, who is like the top jumper in the world.
Yes, that's correct.
Right? And what I thought was interesting is they allowed him to look like less of a jerk than any of his teammates. He was like the one guy that understood what Eddie was about.
And I think he got...
Including Jackman.
Right.
He's the only one that understood what he was about.
But he didn't initially. Because in that opening scene, he goes, "You want my autograph?" He goes, and he walks away. He dismissed him. But I think he figured it out. He figured out what he was doing.
Yeah, he just met the guy.
Right,
he
right.
figured him out over time because the thing with Eddie the Eagle is he was a persistent little crazy man.
Yes, he was.
He was out of his mind. Now, I don't have a huge fear of heights, but I have a healthy fear of heights.
I don't have
that. I was kidding. I've never done the 70-meter ski jump. However,
7.
However, I have been on the Summit Plummet at Blizzard Beach in Disney World, which is an astonishing 360 feet. It's a water slide.
Okay. How many meters is that?
360 feet, it's about 300 meters. And...
No, it's not. That's not even close. It's close to 90 meters, I think, right?
360?
That's got to be close to 90 meters.
Wait, what am I doing? We have a world-class statistician in the...
He'll figure it out.
Yeah, he'll tell us exactly what that is. But 360 feet. Went down that thing. It was...
Was it out?
It was
like this kind of...
Yeah.
So you were in the air. After you did it, you went up in the air.
No, you didn't go up in the air. You went down the slide, but it was almost like a 90-degree drop.
But
it was steep.
But Tim,
And
you didn't go like
fun
into the water. You had to like it vaulted somehow, right?
No, you just go. There's like a long take-up slide.
Gotcha. Okay,
it's
yeah.
a bit over 100 meters.
So there you go. So you were higher than Eddie was when he did his big jump. Eddie did 90 meters. Is that
true, or is the 90 meters how high off the ground
I have no idea.
The jump is? I think that's how high. I think they're really the frick up there.
So you think when he takes off, that's 90 meters up?
I think so.
Could be right. I don't know. All I know, I can tell you something about this though. He didn't actually really train in Germany before the Olympics. He trained in Lake Placid, New York.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying I did some research on this.
Interesting.
And he had to get to America. I was still wondering how he got from Great Britain to Germany. I'm like, he must have drove in that tunnel.
You didn't read between the lines? Mom was slipping him cash.
How do you get his van over there then?
He didn't have a van. That was
his
Hugh
dad's
Jackman's
van. No,
van.
hell, you watch it again. It's his dad's van.
Okay, well, this is a movie.
I'm just saying. Now, if you would have that,
they said it in Germany because the woman innkeeper was really pretty.
Yes,
I liked her a lot.
You know what kind of stinks is that he was so naive because she was like,
her name was Iris Bourbon.
Yep. Petra.
The innkeeper Petra. And it kind of leads me to one of my favorite things in the world.
Huh.
That would be the
horror
movie connection. That's right. Now, there's a couple horror movie connections here. First, we start with Hugh Jackman.
Yep.
He was in the Van Helsing movie.
Huge.
And he's done a couple Simpsons episodes.
Really?
Yes. I don't know why. I just feel when somebody does a Simpsons episode, I always put it in here.
Can you just could you just say like anybody? They were in the Simpsons. Pretty much at this point, right?
Not everybody though. It's surprising how few times I see it because I don't say it every time I'm doing a horror movie.
That's true, I guess.
And then he did a movie called Prisoners. Have you seen Hugh Jackman in Prisoners?
That's a horror movie?
It's a horror movie thriller. It's kind of on that line. I would say it's more on the horror side.
Was he locked up with Dahmer?
I'm not going to tell you much about it. I might be giving it to you one of these
Great.
days.
Fantastic.
But it's a really good movie. Now, Taron Egerton. Now, this is the guy that played Elton John.
Yep.
He was in the
one with all the British Secret Service. What's it called?
What is it called now? The Gentleman's Club, I think. No. No, it's not that. Her Majesty's
Secret Service.
Something. Anyway.
I don't know.
Kingsman.
Yeah, there you go, the Kingsman.
Thank you, chat room.
The Kingsman again. Golden Circle.
This guy, let me tell you, no horror credits.
And you're sure about that?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Are you willing to subtract some points when I give it to you?
Okay,
who it is?
Yeah, you go right.
How many are you going to subtract off?
Christopher Walken.
How many are you going to subtract off?
I'm not going to subtract stuff off. I didn't find it.
No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't think there were. Christopher Walken played the Headless Horseman in Sleepy Hollow for Tim Burton. He was in the original Stepford, or I can't remember. He was in one of the versions of Stepford Wives. But for horror movie fans, they probably know most from The Sentinel and from the movie's Prophecy, where he kind of plays the devil. I've never watched them, but I'm told they're pretty good. I haven't watched them yet.
Before you move on, if he's the Headless Horseman, how do you know it's him?
Because he's the Headless Horseman before the head comes off.
Okay.
Then they take the head off.
As you can tell, I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't watch that.
It's okay. At no point does he come home to feces on his bed. Innkeeper Petra was played by Iris Bourbon. And
yes.
She was in a movie called The Man with the Glass Eye, which is a horror movie.
You might have a glass eye, but
something called Das Teufelsschweib. They're both like horror thrillers that she was in. Now, director Dexter Fletcher, he went on to use Taron again in in Rocket Man, but sadly has no horror credits.
Oh, okay.
No horror credits.
Loser.
So sad.
Loser.
Yeah. So that's our horror movie connection.
That's pretty good. So Tim, you have to give this you gotta give this a grade, 1 to 10.
Why do I have to do that?
Because we keep score here.
Now,
it's all
the
about
one
winning.
thing I'll say about Taron.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I really like the Book of Three. Also, he really got the look down of this guy. If you look, that right there, that's the actual Eddie the Eagle. I kept that in there.
That's him. Yep.
There's something he does with his chin that really makes him look like this guy, Eddie the Eagle, and some of his mannerisms, they're just so unique. And when I found that photo, I'm like, it's got to be the real guy, and it turned out to be. You know?
They interviewed Eddie the Eagle, and he is very pleased on how Taron portrayed him. He said he had my mannerisms down to a T.
I think this kid Taron, I in Kingsman, I thought, what a jerk this guy. Well, that was his character.
Yes, it was.
I think he's a remarkable actor.
He is.
I really think he's going to become one of the greats. So it is time for me to score this thing. As you know, Jeff likes to play the home game. He is going to click in the chat what he thinks I'm going to give it. And I am pressing the button right now.
Oh.
I gave it an 8.
I said you would give it a 9.
I
figured it sounded like you really liked it.
I did like it a lot, but you really gotta wow me with the 9.
Yeah.
It is an emotional movie.
It is.
You tear up. You go, oh, isn't that nice? The thing is, I had seen this movie before.
Oh, you have?
And yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, it doesn't quite land the same way the second time.
All right.
And it is a good...
I get it, land.
Yeah. Pre-flight. They should have played... If they would have played the song Rocket Man while he was flying off of it, that would have been hilarious. But it was a couple years later before they made that movie together.
But like that scene where his dad meets him at the airport, I mean...
That is an amazing scene.
Because his dad just gave him hell the whole time and didn't really believe in him. And man, oh man.
He did not believe in his child.
That was so... But that's such a good movie.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
He had no reason to believe in his child. This was insanity.
Yeah. No, I mean, exactly.
Oh, my God.
But the mom, you got to give the mom credit. Unconditional love by the mom.
She put up with everything. You know, when you're a mom, you're supposed to support your kid. She had no reason to support this kid anymore. He was a mess. But, you know, he pulled it out. I think by sheer force of will. By sheer force of will. That's the only way.
Let me throw one more thing at you because you didn't touch on it too much. What do you think of Hugh Jackman's role?
You know, Hugh put in a very serviceable character.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious where he's sitting there smoking a cigarette as he's going down,
the 90.
90 meter. They're like, thank you.
He's just showing that he could do it. And
right. I really like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great role for him, but it wasn't a showy role because he was kind of stepping back. He was the straight man, you know, to this character that Taron was creating. So you come out and you know he was a big part. He was important to the movie, but it's really all about Taron's performance.
It was, yep.
So he did a great job, but you're not coming out of there talking about him.
No, you're not.
Which actually is exactly what he needs to do, you know. But good movie, solid film, and all about sports. Oddly, those things don't usually line up.
And the thing of it is that Hugh Jackman is like an umpire or referee in sports. They're there to control what's going on, but you shouldn't even know who they are when the game's over.
Yeah, he was a good team player.
Team player.
You know what time it is, Jeff?
This is going to be interesting. Let's do it.
Okay. If it works, here we go. It is time for Otherworldly Culture Sports with your sportscaster extraordinaire, Jeff the Ump Miller.
All right. Well,
by the way, a thing just went out on Twitter when we start this.
Yeah.
So there's probably about 10 million people coming in.
Perfect.
Right now to see the sports.
This is how we're going to start. We're going to start different than the way I wanted to start because all the stuff I have isn't here. But as you can see, I'm repping Bucks basketball. The Milwaukee Bucks open their 22-23 season tonight in Philadelphia against the 76ers. So after tonight, we'll know if the Bucks are
the 76ers? Where are the
76ers.
I never heard. Where is Seben in the United States?
I didn't say that.
70s.
70.
I never heard of these.
So 70s. I have a speech impediment, and you're going to make fun of me.
Yeah.
No, 76ers. 7-6. The 76ers.
Okay. Now, is the baseball cap, we did have some questions. Is baseball cap also a Bucks thing?
No, actually, the 53, that's for my nephew, Brian, who plays for Sioux Falls, South Dakota Cougars. He's number 53. Is that the number that's on there? No, 51. He's 51. He was 53 at Muskego.
Okay.
Which Muskego won last week. Muskego football. They share the conference title with McGuanago, and it's possible that in 3 weeks, McGuanago and Muskego could face off to see who goes to state.
All right.
But let's get into some baseball real quick.
Okay, here it comes. Everybody put on your batting helmets.
Yeah, because this is going to be tough. There'll be a lot of wild pitches going on. See what I did there?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
I knew some wild pitches. But
anyways.
After you get them drunk, there's really nothing more you can do with them.
So anyways, the San Diego Padres last night evened up the NLCS against the Philadelphia. See, I have a hard time with the word Philadelphia because I say THA and it's Philadelphia, but I always say Philadelphia. And there's people that have problems with linoleum and other words like that, but Philadelphia is a tough word for me. I'm just saying. It's a tough word. But
Where
anyways,
are we going?
They tied up this. Well, you made me feel about the 76ers. You're calling out my stuff,
I do
man.
everything I do to throw you off so I get you in trivia.
So back to there you go. So back to the NLCS. The Padres tied it up last night, 1 game apiece, by some great relief pitching by Josh Hader. Josh Hader in the playoffs now has 8 pitches at 100 miles an hour. He struck out the side last night. He looks like Josh Hader of old that used to play for the Milwaukee Brewers. So that series is tied up at 1 apiece.
Okay.
Let's move to the American League. The ALCS Game 2 is tonight. The Houston Astros have a 1-game lead. That's because Mr. Upton, Justin Verlander, who's married to Kate Upton, pitched 6 strong innings last night, struck out 11 as Houston defeated New York 4-2 tonight. This game is still in Houston, and then they'll move on to New York. So,
is anybody else impressed that he's doing this without any notes in front of him? This he remembers. He doesn't remember to bring the notes, but he does remember all these scores.
And tonight, real quick, the game that's up against us on Amazon Prime, I shouldn't even mention it, but you need to know. The New Orleans Saints, who are 2-4, are traveling to the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals, who are also 2-4.
Wow.
I'm Jeff Miller, and that's the sports that I know.
Well, thanks, Jeff. Now, something that we forgot to do last time.
Yeah.
And that was to remind everybody that coming up, we
yes,
got Horror Realm.
Yes.
Horror Realm is coming March 4th through the 6th. No. That's wrong. That's
the
2022.
3rd through the 5th.
Well, they don't have a new one yet.
Wow, it's the 3rd to the 5th.
Yeah, they don't have the new one yet. But that reminds me, that's another thing I got to get on about.
But we have some really great guests that are going to be out there.
Guests.
Cookie Monster. Tell me what his name is.
CJ Graham.
There you go, Cookie Monster.
Cookie
yum, 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 yum. I like cookies and milk.
Yeah, we have some Jasons. We've got a lot of different.
Hey, the Thing, the guy from The Thing.
Yes,
the guy. What's his name?
Richard Masur.
Yes, he played with dogs.
He played. That doesn't sound right.
He's a dog whisperer.
In no way does that sound
Before
right.
there was Caesar, he was a dog whisperer. Think about that. Ooh, I'm going to bring that up when I talk to him.
Okay, I'm sure he's probably he told me he can't wait to meet the Jeff Miller. But also I wanted to talk a little bit, Jeff, that I went last night to a zombie preparedness event. And
Really?
I learned all about being prepared for zombies.
Like in Zombieland, are you talking about?
I'm letting this. In Zombieland, actually was brought up. They showed some of the rules, and they said, "Yeah, this is good preparedness. You should have good cardio. You should always wear your seatbelt. You know, these are things that were in Zombieland." And the gentleman, Mr. Michaels, that was there, he explained Waukesha County's preparedness guidelines and how you should have a go bag at your home, etc. So it was a fun time. Got to learn about zombies and real zombies. There is something called zombie mice. Do you know about this?
No.
There's a thing called zombie mice. It's a mouse that gets infected. I know you think mice are hilarious, so you'll love this.
No, I don't.
There's a parasite that will get inside of a mouse, and it does something to the chemistry of the mouse's head that it suddenly loses all fear of cats and like felines.
Really?
So what happens is this thing infects the mouse. It breeds like the dickens inside the mouse. Mouse gets eaten by the cat, and then the cat gets infected.
Get out of here!
Yes. So this
Are you
is why,
serious?
This is why
Holy
when
cow.
a woman is pregnant, they tell them not to handle kitty litter, because if a cat is infected with these things,
are you
it
serious?
gets into the kitty litter. I learned it last night.
Wow.
It gets into the kitty litter, and if they mess with it, it might infect them, and it doesn't
And give
kill
a zombie
humans.
kid?
It doesn't kill humans, but it really makes their life really uncomfortable and horrible for a while.
Wow.
Real zombies, everybody.
So hey, I have a question.
Do you see all the knowledge I bring to
You know
this
what?
show?
That is impressive. I have a question. I have a serious question.
You would have been freaking out.
I probably would have
know
been.
it.
But here's the
God.
thing I have for you.
Yeah.
So even in all these zombie movies, even the
Yes,
ones you
Jeff.
had me watch, whatever,
Yeah.
and even Zombieland, but I don't understand. So they're undead, right?
Yeah.
And they walk around and they walk
Right.
around. But if you shoot them, they die.
If you destroy the brain,
Okay. See, I didn't know that.
yeah,
So you got
That's
so
what
a
it
shot to the chest isn't gonna
they
do
keep
anything.
coming.
You gotta shoot them in the head.
You gotta shoot them in the head.
Okay.
Yeah, and he really didn't get into what type of firearms and how you should destroy the zombie. Mostly how to run away, which I thought was kind of a pussy move.
Damn.
There it is.
Damn, man.
No, it really they obviously he's hit to use at the library. He isn't gonna bring in here's a really good shotgun that you should be carrying. It was more about what you should do if there was a tornado or a fire or something
What?
like that.
I thought it was zombies.
It is zombies. In fact, a lot of the information that was in this presentation, he took from a website by the CDC. The CDC has a whole thing about zombie preparedness out on their website.
You gotta be kidding me.
Well, they put a lot of fake things up there. We all know this. Anyway, we're going to go
That
ahead.
was him, not me,
Yeah,
who is
the
normally
emails to
me.
Yes, it's usually Jeff.
Oh, hey, wait.
Yo.
We're still in the middle.
Yo,
Hey, real
yo,
quick. I wanna talk about this just briefly.
Hold on. Let me get you into one check
All right.
here. Here we go.
So this right here is Everything Has Meaning by my cousin Scott Rue. It's a really in-depth book about his life as far as you may or may not remember back when we had those tree stand murders up in Rice Lake, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Well, yep. My uncle was part of that. He was one of the guys in the woods. He did survive, but the PSTD or whatever the
post-traumatic stress.
that actually ended doing him in. But my nephew is part Indian, and he brings in the fact that everything has a meaning. So he gets into the tree stand murders. He gets into his own problems and all that. But it's actually a really good book. It's a quick read. It's on Amazon. Everything
do they have pictures? Because I know you like.
No, and I wish that they did. They don't have pictures. But
no pictures.
But the writing is a nice size.
But
so
it's available on Amazon.
It's available on Amazon. Everything has meaning. What the Tree Stand Murders Taught Me About Life, Death, and Destiny. Scott Rue. So there you go.
And we'll
Thanks,
put
Tim.
a link in the show notes to that, so that people could just click it and buy it right at Amazon.
Thanks, Tim.
All right. Well, fantastic. You know what time it is, Jeff?
It's my time.
I'm always asking him if he knows what time it is.
I don't. I never know what time. I should start looking over here. It says 7:42. You've given me 18 minutes.
I'm probably one of the most famous films ever made. So
I know.
Good luck with that, buddy.
So, Jurassic Park. All right, so Jurassic Park. Anyways, so Jurassic Park is a 1993 movie.
Yes.
It's rated PG-13.
It is.
And it's 2 hours and 7 minutes long. Now, in the past, Tim and I have been talking. Tim mostly talks about this, about the length of movies. And usually
I do talk a lot.
A really good horror movie should be right around an hour and a half. But I'll tell you what, this could go on for another hour for me. This movie is, because I think we haven't seen anything like this. When this came out, we never saw anything like this. Yeah. And Steven Spielberg does a fantastic job in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
What I recognized this time that I didn't the first time I saw it. The first time I saw it in a movie theater.
Right.
I probably was on a date. I really wasn't paying attention to the movie. But the beginning, I don't remember the beginning. When I saw the beginning of this one, I'm like, okay, so he's laying down the groundwork for each one of these characters and why they're there.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool, because otherwise, I think when I remember this movie, I'm like, oh, everybody's there. They're all in the little Jeep. And here comes the T-Rex, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna play the Jeepy Jeep? I think you're looking for it.
I'm finding it.
So, anyways,
keep going.
So what? Jeepy Jeep. So listen.
Have you heard this one though? Yet?
No.
That's the ringtone for Jeff.
Is it really?
Yeah. You know what? I made a new one.
Let's hear it.
I made a new one. I feel this is more Jeff.
Now listen, hold on a second. Hey, up. Listen. Hey, up. Listen. Listen. And I'll listen. Hold on a second. Wait. And I'll listen. Hold on a second. Listen. Hey, up. Now listen. Hold on a second. Tim, you have way too much time on your hands.
And I will be sending a copy of that to Deb very soon.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be all about that. So, Tim, that's pretty creative. Thank you for that. At least you know when I'm calling and when not to answer. Because the next time I'm calling you, I'm raising the Jeep up. Every time I call you, the Jeep goes up an extra inch. So this movie is really, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it, because it's just such a
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer. I really don't think of this as horror. And because in my mind, horror is another person coming and killing you, or a spirit or an entity or something killing you. Granted, there's dinosaurs in here, but they don't know any better, because they're just trying to feed. All right? That's how I perceive it.
Yeah. It's definitely an adventure film.
It's an adventure.
That's, I would say, adventure sci-fi.
Exactly. There are some moments, and I'm not spoiling anything because this movie's been out since '93, and I think
most young people have actually seen this, unlike a lot of our '80s movies, because they keep making these.
Right. Now, what's the latest one? Is Jurassic
World Dominion.
Right.
Which is free, by the way, to folks on Amazon Prime right now. They have an extended cut.
The most horrific scene, or the most tense scene for me, is not the scene you're going to think. It's actually one of the last scenes, when the two velociraptors have got the people cornered in the kitchen and all that. That last 15 minutes or something, that is some of the most intense movie stuff that I've ever seen.
And that's why I call it a horror movie, because they're being stalked.
They are being stalked.
Yeah.
Now, the part 1 hour and 3 minutes in when you see the T-Rex for the first time, the main character. What Steven Spielberg did there is genius. You would think you'd see like an outside shot of everything going on, but excuse me for 1 minute because I have a very dry throat and I need to get a little bit of Mountain Dew.
Everybody drink along with Jeff.
So anyways, thank you. But the cool thing is he shot this from inside the Jeep. So it's almost like you're experiencing it yourself. And that, to me, was fantastic. You could have mailed it in and did it the other way. But here, you see the little bit of the water shake. And you're like, huh. And you see it shake some more.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, there's breath on the glass and all. That's fantastic. If you ask me, that's best.
Building suspense. That's how you build the suspense. And, you mentioned something that I didn't realize until I watched it this time. There is fully an hour before that T-Rex shows up. And you only see 2 dinosaurs.
Yep. You see
until then.
You see the Leptosaurus. I know my dinosaurs.
Ooh.
And then the other ones that were hanging out. But
the reason he knows the Leptosaurus is because he sits right outside of the ellipticals and he sees a Leptosaurus all the time. No, there's the Leptosaurus and then there is the Triceratops.
Right, you see that one?
Those are the only 2 you see. I actually have met a Triceratops.
Okay. At the Milwaukee Public Zoo?
No.
Because that's where I've seen mine.
No, Universal Studios Orlando.
Okay.
When they first opened up Islands of Adventure, when they first opened it up, there was a thing called the Triceratops Encounter, I believe it was called.
Okay.
And they had a full-size animatronic of the Triceratops, and they would do a talk like you would see at a zoo, like, here's Triceratops, and he would do stuff like raise its leg and that. But they tried to make it very natural looking, like it wasn't doing stunts or anything.
Okay.
And literally everybody there knew it was a robot.
But
it had an odor to it.
Nice.
I think it sneezed or something at one point. It was so realistic. The problem with the attraction is they could only get about 30, 40 people through there at a time. And they shut it down, I think, after 2 years.
Because people had to wait too long and
like
it wasn't worth it?
It was a very quiet type of walkthrough attraction. And people don't like walking, they like rides. Except, of course, for Goldblum, Dern, and Neil, they just take the restraints and break them.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up about that animatronic dinosaur. Yeah. So actually, T-Rex that they built for this movie, it had some shorts in it, and the crew would be.
It wore shorts. Why wouldn't it wear full slacks or jeans? Jeans are more hardy.
Yeah. Some 501 button flies.
Yeah.
Did you have a pair of those? You have a pair of those? I did. I had a pair of those growing up. But anyways, but they said that because with the rain and all that, the rain on it, that it was shorting out or something, and the T-Rex would just come alive by itself without anybody even doing anything, and people would get scared. I think that.
Well, at Islands of Adventure, you've not been, right? Okay, at Islands of Adventure, the climax of the boat ride is a T-Rex coming out.
Oh, really?
And let me tell you, it's in the dark and it just kind of out. First time you see that, I get chills even thinking about that damn thing.
Really?
Because it looks real. And I think part of why you buy it so much in the park is because you buy it so much in this movie and you're like, well, if there was a T-Rex, it would look exactly like that one because it's made out of the same mold. It is an amazing experience.
The thing that made me think of this T-Rex thing, it really reminded me of Jaws. If you think about it, you don't see Jaws until how far in? 40 minutes in?
Yeah, something like that.
But it's the build-up. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's there, and you're like, uh-oh.
A lot of people call this Jaws on the Land.
Could be.
I take issue with that because Jaws on the Land actually was made before Jaws. It was a TV movie called Duel that Steven Spielberg did. about a killer semi-truck, which
I heard of this.
you may or may not be assigned in the future.
I'll take it.
Season.
Maximum
I think
Overdrive.
you would enjoy it. It's not Maximum
But I
Overdrive.
like the Maximum Overdrive. I did.
Yeah, you were the guy. We all wondered who it was. Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
okay, well no, but the other thing I liked about this movie too is that it was dealing with some really in-depth stuff.
Yeah.
But they clean it up with that cartoon. That cartoon is like, I know exactly what they're talking about.
Right.
Because otherwise, Jeff would not have known what they're talking about.
When I'm watching, you will often hear me talk about Morris the Explainer scenes, where it's like somebody comes on the screen and says, well, the only way that you can kill a vampire is with a wooden stake through his heart and the sun and, stuff like that. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, this is so ham-fisted. The way Spielberg did this, where he had all these different layers. Okay, there was the animated film that was actually giving the information. For the tourists.
Right. They were showing what it'd be like for the tourists.
Right. But you had Attenborough is kind of interacting with the movie that's up there. And you had where the three that are watching aren't really watching because they understand everything the cartoon is showing. And they're trying to figure stuff out. So they were able to do all of that. Now, the other guy that gets a lot of exposition, Samuel L. Jackson. Did you notice that guy is talking through this movie?
Yep.
His mouth is not even moving, and the cigarette is just wiggling a little bit in his mouth. I cannot believe some of the junk dialogue they gave that guy. I mean, it's like, how did he learn to spew all this techno-babble bull? So, he says it like they're throwaway lines. I was just like totally impressed. And this was early in Samuel L. Jackson's career. It was
probably him cutting his teeth on this stuff. And what about Newman? How about Newman's character?
Yes.
That's a pretty damn good character too. I gotta say that he played that well. The guy who's going to actually steal the...
Dennis Nedry was the character name.
Oh.
Well, that's the character. That's one of them.
Nerdry.
Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight, yeah.
Wayne Knight.
He plays a great role, too, in there. And all in all, this movie, it's just a lot of fun.
Well, the cast is excellent. You got Attenborough, you got Goldblum, you got Dern, you have Neil.
But
B.D.
Wong.
The guy that people forget about is Bob Peck. And when you watch this movie, he's the Australian hunter. He didn't do a whole hell of a lot prior to this movie or after. He died not too long after making this movie. But he is so intense.
Yep.
It's because of his intensity and how cautious he is that you fear those raptors. Because you can tell the whole movie is built about you being more afraid of the raptors than the T-Rex.
Right.
And in real life, you're not. You're not going to. The raptor will probably kill you better, but you see this giant monster of the T-Rex and you go, that's the bad guy. But they did a lot to make it a feasible villain for you.
If you realize too that when Sam Neill in the opening scene, which stuff that I don't remember, when he's on the dig, he's talking about the raptors. He's saying that one will be looking at you, but when he's looking at you, the other two are going to come around and kill you. And they set the groundwork for those raptors.
Yeah, they do an excellent job.
It's a really well done movie on all parts. Yeah. I think that they cast it perfectly.
Yes.
And it's really amazing, and the scenery too. I mean, the scenery that
it was shot in Hawaii, a good amount of it, and it was during a there was a hurricane or something that came through. But
so it all timed out.
I got to see where some of this was shot, including the tree that they climb when they feed that one Vegosaurus there. The bottom of that tree, they find those eggs.
Yeah.
I was at that exact tree.
That's pretty cool.
It's on Kauai. It's in a plantation there. I don't remember the name of, but it's really cool. It's gorgeous, by the way.
You know how I knew that they shot that in Hawaii? Because I saw the movie Mike and Dave Need Dates for a Wedding.
Oh, really?
And they go there. They take the Jurassic Park ATV thing.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the reason I knew that. Okay. But I do have a sports horror connection.
Hold
Before I
on,
get to my
I
grade.
got one. Oh!
So, in the movie, in the very beginning, Joseph C. Brown, all right, you will see him in the very beginning of the movie. He's the worker that gets eaten by the raptor in the cage in the very beginning. He's the one where you see half his body and he's like going like this. So
Spoiler alert.
No, that's in the beginning.
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Damn. So anyways, he played 1 year for the Chicago Cubs. He actually got into a game. He pitched 2 innings, and all the rest of my notes are at home. But
Is he the guy that gets like lifted
Yep,
up?
that's
Oh,
him.
wow. Okay.
that's him. That's right. That's him. He passed away a short time after that. It's
well, he
complications
was
to
eaten by
cancer.
a raptor.
Complications to cancer.
Okay.
But yeah, that was him. He played in the major leagues. He played for Chicago Cubs.
So you're telling me raptors cause cancer?
I'm not saying any of that.
Okay.
It won 3 Oscars.
It's-
Did you know that?
Yeah, and it made like $1 billion or $6 billion or something.
Best
like
sound, best effects, and best effects visually, and best effects sound effect.
that? Okay,
Yeah.
here's what I'm going to say about this. Now it's time for Tim's rant.
Okay, I'm
on
done.
this.
All right.
My rant is
You have a rant?
yes. I am so tired of science fiction and horror movies only getting technical stuff like best sound, best effects, best this, best that. You know what? This movie had some great freaking acting. Why was it not up for an Oscar for that? And let me tell you, direction, it doesn't get better directed than this film.
Yeah.
It moves.
It was a good movie.
Hey.
And that's why 2 hours and 7 minutes, or I said,
Yeah.
seemed like it was too short. It seemed like it was too short. It seemed like it was too short. It was a good movie.
All right. So what are you going to be scoring?
Yeah, I'm giving this a nice solid 9.
All right.
Yeah, I really like this
I
movie
figured
a
it
lot.
was a 9 or a 10.
Yeah.
I would have had an issue with you if you would have come in here and said 2. I would have said, now, do I understand my friend at all?
Yeah, but you know what,
anymore?
though? I think you're getting a hang of what... You can kind of figure out I'm going to rate things now.
Well, I was surprised
Kinda.
by Dawn. You surprised
You gotta
me every
be
once
kidding
in a
me.
while. Yeah.
You were surprised by I gave it a 2?
Yeah, there's a personal friend of yours made this movie. And, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Made the movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
There
Savini.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
knew that was coming.
Yeah, you know,
All right.
when he takes a picture with me at Horror Realm,
Yeah.
then I'll start rating his movies higher.
All right.
You heard that from me, Tommy boy. Or is it Ted? No, it's Tom.
It's Tom.
It's Tom Savini. Tom.
You almost had it. All right, everybody. It's trivia time. For those of you that don't know, here's how it goes. Each of us will read 3 statements. One of them is false. And the other one of us here has to be the truth detector. I love that so much. Let's see it again. Is the truth detector, and will tell you, tell the partner, if it's true or not, and it's worth 5 points. It's worth 5 points.
We're going to need them all this week.
Okay.
Who's going first? You want to ask me first? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I
Ask me
can
first.
ask you first. I'm gonna hide this time. Turn off your chat room. I see you.
No.
You're watching.
I
it.
don't care enough.
Okay. I gotta hide the questions.
I like
here.
to read them.
Yeah, that's why I'm hiding them.
Okay.
Okay, the first one. Jeff Goldblum. You know who that is?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Fly.
Jeff Goldblum's hometown is Pittsburgh. That's number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2. Actor Richard Attenborough, prior to his career in acting, recorded narration for the BBC nature documentaries. Number 3. Michael Crichton, who wrote the book that Jurassic Park is based upon, was a doctor in real life, and his experiences are the basis of the TV series ER.
You suck.
I suck.
Yeah. Can you just tell me which Richard Attenborough? Can you just tell me which person that was in the movie?
He is.
Was he the grandpa?
Yeah, he's the old man.
All right. It was prior career.
What is his name? Hammond.
Yeah.
Mr. Hammond.
They want him to be like a dark Walt Disney. He always
Very good. That's what I always thought too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they were looking for, but he didn't really do that. All right. So Goldblum is from Pittsburgh. Atterburn, that sounds correct. Michael wrote a book, and it's based upon...
Crichton. It's pronounced Crichton.
Wrote the book.
He's like 6'4". He's like freakishly tall.
I don't care.
Like my brother.
Was a doctor in real life whose experiences are based on... See, that sounds like that would be the false one.
No, his experiences aren't based on the TV series.
No.
The TV series is based on his life.
That sounds so fake but that's what you want me to think. Okay, so
you're overthinking again.
So then we go to Richard Atterburn, but that could be really true because he's got that British accent. So that sounds right.
Well, everybody in Britain has British accents.
I think Goldblum's hometown is Pittsburgh. I don't know if that's true either. I think you know what. Here's how this is going to roll out.
Okay, here it comes.
The false one.
The false one. The incorrect one.
Oh God, I want to say it so bad.
The untrue one is.
I want to say it so bad. I'm going to say Jeff Goldblum is not from Pittsburgh.
I really thought you were going to get this one.
Damn it!
I really did. He's one of the most famous Pittsburghonians.
I thought Tom Savini is.
He plays the piano there on a regular basis still.
I don't care.
For concerts. Richard Attenborough did not record narration for BBC nature documentaries. His brother did. David Attenborough.
Are they twins? Do I still get a point?
No, they're not twins.
But I was right about that last one. You were trying to pull that crap on me.
Michael Crichton wrote Jurassic Park. Do you know what else he wrote? And directed the movie Westworld.
Tron.
Westworld.
I saw that
which you saw. Yes. And I actually at that time stated that he was a doctor.
That was a few seasons ago.
Yes, it was. But that's why I felt really good about you maybe getting this one.
I knew Goldblum was from Pittsburgh. I knew that.
I was surprised you picked that one. Of the three, I was surprised.
All right.
I had to say hello to our friends in Pittsburgh.
Yes, that's right. Hello.
Hey!
By the
Pittsburgh.
way, if you're in Pittsburgh right now, what's the name of that sandwich shop? Primatis?
Primatis, yeah.
Primatis, it's free pizza tonight. I do. I get an email every Thursday. Free pizza Thursday.
Sign up. Okay.
I did. I signed up when we were there.
Awesome.
So get your free pizza. All right, so you ready?
Tell me. Three items. One is not true.
Hugh Jackman was considered to be the next James Bond before Craig was.
Interesting.
Christopher Walken actually was an alternate for the 1960 Winter Olympics in Squaw Valley. And Eddie the Eagle holds the world record for toboggan jumping.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
The only one in there that even sounds true to me is the Hugh Jackman one because they check everybody for James Bond. They go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people.
Well, Eddie the Eagle was also asked to be.
But Hugh Jackman is an Australian, not an Englishman.
Same accent.
But yeah, that's why I'm like, they might have looked at him. I don't think they were very serious about it, but I bet they looked at him.
All right.
So that leaves Christopher Walken in Squaw Valley. Where is Squaw Valley?
That's out in California.
They didn't have an Olympics out there.
Read
that again.
They had one out there. Okay, well, anyways.
What?
They did. Yeah. Christopher Walken actually was an alternate for the 1960 Winter Olympics in Squaw Valley. It's in California. Trust me.
Okay, and what was the third one again?
Eddie the Eagle.
Oh, Eddie the Eagle.
Toboggan jumping, yeah.
I'm going to say that's false. It just doesn't sound as true. Christopher Walken is a great dancer, so he might have athletic acumen. But honestly, you're probably screwing me with that one. But I'm going to say the false one is Eddie the Eagle and the toboggan jump.
Hit the wrong button.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
So, was it?
Christopher Walken is made up.
Okay.
Squaw Valley really is the host of the 1960 Winter Olympics.
I didn't doubt.
But
I
Eddie the Eagle does hold the record for toboggan jumping at 10 meters. You can find it on the internet. And you can
Why?
And you can see him doing the jump. It's awesome.
It's awesome. 10 meters?
Yeah.
That's like 30 feet. Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. He does it a few times and he falls off a couple. It's awesome.
Well, he obviously could heal. He's drinking milk all the time.
I know. It's such strong bones.
You know, what's funny about that is Hugh Jackman, his main character was Wolverine. What does Wolverine do? Heal really well. His bones don't break.
Oh.
I'm like, well, he kind of is playing foil to somebody that.
Look at that. 0-0.
Yeah,
that means the score's tied right now. Watch
yes. Way to ruin the suspense here. So
I can add.
on trivia, we both got zeros on trivia. And then Jeff gave a 9 to the horror movie. That means we have a complete tie. You know,
5 innings in.
I really thought I was going to pull ahead here because I figured there's no way that he doesn't give it a 9 or a 10. I'm like, Jurassic Park is just such a strong film.
It is.
But then I biffed the damn trivia and screw it
Too
for
bad.
myself.
Thank you, Eddie the Eagle. Thank you.
Eddie is evil, is what it
you know
actually
what?
was
I want to
called.
tell you right now. You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
Honestly, if that's the world record, I'm going to try to beat it. This winter, I'm going to try to beat that.
Everybody, you heard me say how much I was reminded of Jeff throughout the film. That's why.
This winter, I will have
Your poor
tried.
wife.
I'm going to try it. Why not?
My God.
Can you imagine if you're sitting here with a world record holder? Can you imagine?
We'd probably get 3 more viewers. All right.
I'm doing it, Tim.
Coming
I'm doing
up
it.
next week, Thursday.
Oh, my God.
It's October 27th. Now, what's important about that is by that time you will be recovered from all the Tim Kretschmann birthday celebrations across the country.
What day is that, Tim?
Not telling. But it's coming up. It depends on your source as to what day it is.
Oh, really?
Yes, it does.
What do you mean? Your mom says one day, your dad says another?
So, what is
the vampire
Jim put
thing.
me again?
I gotcha.
Yes.
Anyways.
So, you gave me Mystery Alaska.
Another winter movie, yes. This is a pretty cool movie. This has got Russell Crowe in it. It's about
I have not seen this one.
Cool, that's even better.
Yeah.
It's about a small town hockey team that takes on, I think it's the New York Islanders, I think.
The New York Knicks?
No, the Rangers. I think they take on the Rangers. No.
Okay.
But they take them on in
showing off
in Mystery Alaska, and they take them on outside.
Is this based on a real story, or is it just a myth? That,
mythical.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
But it's a good movie. I think it's a good movie. It's not going to be an Eddie the Eagle, but it's going to be a good movie.
I'm looking forward to it because I haven't seen it, and I like a lot of the actors that are in it. And I think the same director as the Austin Powers movies, who I like. So I'm looking forward
Someone's
to
getting
it.
shagged.
Okay. And
oh my God.
I am giving little Jeffy baby this wonderful film called The Silence of the Lambs. Oh. It's really a love story. When you get
put
down
the lotion
to it.
in the basket.
Yeah, put the lotion. Have you seen it?
No,
or
but I remember. I know
it?
things.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
It is very much in pop culture. I believe it's an effective horror movie. Very well acted.
This is going to be a psychological one.
To the point where this is one of the few horror movies that has netted not just Oscars, but lots of Oscars.
Really?
Remember when I was talking about how they're usually overlooked at the Oscars? Was I maybe setting up this introduction?
Of course you were.
Of course
you were. Too.
Yes, because this is one of the few movies that really got recognition, and there's a reason for it. It is an excellent film, and
I don't even know.
It's disturbing.
I don't know if I'll get through this. I really don't.
I don't know if Jeff will make it through, but you have to grade however much you watch.
I'll watch the whole thing. I've never not watched the whole movie, except for the ones that I fall asleep in.
Yeah, we'll give you August Underground. We can stop you.
Freaking high.
We can stop you. No, I would never do that to you. I think it's a high quality film.
Yeah.
I think it's scary. It's fun, and it's perfect for getting you ready for Halloween. What better boogeyman than Dr.
What's her
Hannibal
name?
Lecter?
Jodie Foster's.
Jodie Foster, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, it's a scary one,
Is there?
buddy.
I want to ask you something, real before you take that off the screen.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be a moth, or is that someone's face on the moth?
It's a specific type of moth that has a skull-like pattern on its back.
That's not going to be a trivia question, is it?
Not anymore, it won't.
Good. See how I do that? See how I do that, folks?
You're the master, man.
That's right.
So, want to thank everybody for coming out.
I do too.
To tonight's show.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. What is this? Mystery Alaska also has Mickey Bunce of Drop Dead Fred. You don't know this.
I don't.
But Drop Dead Fred is one of my brother's absolute favorite films.
Really?
I've seen it a bunch of times. I am pretty sure because we purchased the VHS from Farmore.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
We watched that thing like crazy.
Where quality costs no more. That was our slogan over there.
Oh,
hey, you're looking at an Employee of the Month right here.
Oh, I know.
I was in the running for Employee of the Year.
Ooh.
I have a watch to prove it.
Oh.
They gave me a watch. I'm not kidding you. I have a Farmore watch.
They gave you a watch.
For Employee of the Month, I've got a Farmore watch.
Wow.
I don't know if it works, but it had the little Farmore logo on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, what's
find
amazing to me about that place was it was everywhere for a little bit.
Yep.
And then it was nowhere.
That's because of two words. Mickey Monis. The CEO was funding the Colorado Rockies. $1 here, $2 here. $1 here, $2 here. And he went to prison.
Well, that happens sometimes. But well, in the chat room, congratulations, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks. What was it, of the year? Or
of the month. I didn't get Employee of the Year.
What? Oh.
I didn't.
It was political then.
It was.
Yeah. Those bastards. All right. Well,
all right.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
Now, here's where we test my memory of all the places we are at. But I wanted to thank you all. It's time to close the crypt and call the game. Thank you all for watching. Remember to share and subscribe to our show and feed. On Thursday nights, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook Live, and, of course, our home base on Twitch. You know what a home base is?
Yes.
Okay, good. You can find the show at otherworldlyculture.com and follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and other fine places where you find podcasts, like the bomb you shoot. Sometimes you step in a podcast and you go, oh, look at that.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been working a lot with, I'm using
I don't know what that was all
Pocket
about.
Cast as well.
What?
We're on Pocket Cast. That's a new app.
Are you serious?
We're in there.
Oh, I gotta check that out tonight.
We're in there because we're awesome.
Yep.
You can yell at your Amazon device. I don't want to say it right now. And it'll play our show as well. You just say, play Dead on the Bases podcast.
We should have it play while we're doing it. And
No, we should not do that.
And we could do it like a round, like row, row, row your boat.
That's pretty well what it sounds like anyway when you're around, Jeff.
Do you think about it? Row, row, row your boat. And then you'd go, row, row, row your boat.
No,
and
they
then
are like this.
Now listen, hold on. Now listen, hold on a
Wait.
second. Hey, up.
Okay,
Listen,
whatever.
now listen, hold on a second.
GPG.
Now listen, hold on a second. Hey, up. Listen. Okay.
That is so tension-inducing when I listen to that thing.
Oh, it's tension-inducing.
Tension-inducing.
Great.
Because it just keeps building and building. It's like, wait, no, hold on a second.
I get stuck in a loop. I really do. I get stuck in a loop when that happens.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
If it is sports, it's a home run. If it's horror, run home. We're Dead on the Bases, and we'll see you next time.
BobCostasShouldRetire.com. He's terrible. I want to talk about that, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I forgot my notes at home. I still have to give you props. You should get an award for this mashup. They should have an award
I
for this.
literally worked a fader to make this work.
Hey, no one has to know that.
Well, now I let it out of the bag.
No one is listening. 39-39.
No, they're all on Thursday Night Football right now.
Yeah.
Do we know what?
Saints were up 7-3 at one point.
Okay.
30
Well, that sounds like a barn burner.
They've been having some crap games on Thursdays.